So what is going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video, and today I thought I would talk about something that I just thought about randomly the other day, and that is all of these zombie YouTubers that have, I suppose, left the community. I wanted to look back, see who's gone. Also, maybe there's some new people who have come as well, and take a look at the reasons why people may have left, because in my opinion, I would say that Call of Duty Zombies, at least how it began, how it was propelled, back in the early days, I think YouTube had a massive part to play in Zombies getting off on its own 2 feet, especially the storyline. I don't think anyone would understand the zombie story without YouTubers. I started making videos about it during Black Ops 2, I think it was, but before then, in order for me to understand the zombie storyline, I had to watch YouTubers during the World at War and Black Ops 1 days. That's where I got my information from. Before Treyarch told us stuff, before we had the Canorium, even before we had cutscenes where we could extract information from, literally everything to do with the story was told to us in-game, usually through radios, also quotes from our characters, and the odd message or note we find in game now and again. And because everything during the early days was not only so obscure, but, well, even the story that we did have wasn't really put together. It was everywhere. It was all mixed about. And so it was really up to the community, YouTubers, Reddit, people on other platforms as well, but YouTube was really the biggest where the community would piece together the storyline. And that's not even mentioning Easter eggs. There is no way, especially during the earlier days, even now, I would have been able to solve an Easter egg during World at War, Black Ops 1, even early BO2 before I did YouTube videos on it. There is no way I would have been able to solve, let alone do Easter eggs within Zombies without tutorials from YouTubers. Call of Duty Zombies is drastically different to any other game. Just looking at the multiplayer, there are Easter eggs in there, but they are very simple. If you look at any campaign game, there are hundreds of games out there that have Easter eggs, but compared to Zombies, I don't think there are many games that are on the complexity of this. Easter eggs in the early days of Zombies compared to now in Cold War and Vanguard, where you pretty much get walked through it, but YouTube tutorials were essential. Also for buildables, training guides, everything. Like I said, over the past couple of games, I don't think YouTube is as important for Zombies anymore, just because you are walked through everything now. In Cold War, you are told exactly how to do the Easter eggs. Yes, you still have to figure a few things out for yourself, but it's nowhere near as hard as it used to be. Again, you are told how to pack punch in Vanguard and Cold War. If we go back to the BO2 or BO3 days especially, for maps like Transit, if you hadn't played it already, you'd probably need a tutorial. Also for maps like Zetsubono Shima, Dryzen Draka was pretty simple, but pack-a-punching wasn't always as easy as it is now. I would say the main thing YouTube was useful for was the storyline, but also Easter eggs and gameplay were also just as important. And so, like I said, I was just thinking the other day about all of the zombie YouTubers that have left the scene, and I thought, well, this would be an interesting video to make, and to also potentially look at the reasons as to why this has happened, because I don't think anyone can argue that since Black Ops 3, the zombies community has gotten smaller. And I'm not just talking about YouTubers, I'm talking about the community as a whole. It felt like Black Ops 3 was definitely the peak when there was the most interest, the most people making videos on it, the most players. I don't think anyone can disagree that BO3 Zombies was the peak when it was at its biggest community-wise. And then, since then, I think it's been on a slow downwards spiral. Interest dropped a little bit during Black Ops 4, although for the most part it was still there, and then especially during Cold War, interest dropped even more. The zombies community got smaller, and now we are in Vanguard, where it's probably at the smallest I've seen it maybe since its beginning, World at War. Yes, with every new game there's going to be new players that are going to be introduced to it. There were new people that came in during Cold War, and there's probably new people that have come in during Vanguard as well, but overall, since BO3, it's gotten smaller to the point as to where it is now. But back to the main point of this video, let's go ahead and look at some Zombies YouTubers who either no longer upload videos on Zombies or just no longer upload at all. And the first one I was thinking about was Glitching Queen. Her last proper Zombies video was almost a year ago, about halfway through Cold War's life cycle when Firebase C released. And even then you can see the amount of videos she made on Cold War compared to Black Ops 4, BO3, I know she did an awful lot. I will say, I don't know everything about every YouTuber I've written down here, so I could be wrong on some points I'm making, but it's interesting to see that Cold War was the game where she stopped uploading. I do know she tended to do a lot of videos on Easter eggs within zombies and ciphers, and Cold War wasn't the best game for that. There wasn't really many Easter eggs to solve in that game. If you think of the amount of side Easter eggs we had in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 zombies, and then the amount we had in Cold War, it's nowhere near. The next person I was thinking about was The Smith Plays, someone I used to watch an awful lot during Black Ops 2, especially the top 10, top 5 videos. It does seem like every now and again he comes back and uploads a zombies video, but the last time he consistently uploaded zombies from what I can remember was Black Ops 3. So BO4 was the game where he really left the zombie scene and went to Fortnite. We all know BO4 Zombies is considered by a lot of people to be one of the worst in the series. I think with the release of Vanguard, it's definitely not number one. And then, as I mentioned, he has done a video now and again. He did a retrospective series, but even then, those videos were based off older maps, not BO4, I guess because he didn't play it. Also, another person, I would say the biggest of the bunch, Syndicate. Now, he's probably a little bit different to everyone else because the last time I can remember him constantly uploading zombies videos was, I think, during BO2, possibly BO3 as well, but definitely not during BO4. I know he did a lot of Twitch streams for Cold War and weapon reviews, but considering he did Minecraft and zombies consistently for quite a long time, I would say it was during Black Ops 4, maybe late on during BO3, where he started to move away from zombies. Came back a bit during Cold War, but not for Vanguard. Another one of the big ones is Relaxing End. This one I'm not too familiar with because it's not really the type of content that I tend to watch on YouTube. He didn't do storyline videos or Easter eggs, it was more just general gameplay, which compared to what a lot of people did during that time, was different, but he stopped uploading zombies consistently and moved on to other things about 4 years ago, so just before the release of Black Ops 4, in that dead period between BO3 and BO4, and then he changed his channel so he didn't come back to do zombies for Black Ops 4 or Cold War or Vanguard. And then of course there's a load of other YouTubers we can go through as well. One person that I'm pretty sure has said he will stop uploading zombies videos is Tim Hansen, but I'm not 100% sure on the reason for that. If I'm not wrong in saying part of that could be because he doesn't enjoy the zombies that we have now. I do notice he doesn't really do videos on Cold War or Vanguard, mainly Black Ops 3 and before that, and a lot of custom zombies as well. There are also a bunch of other YouTubers I could talk about, but the one main thing that I take away from all of this, the one consistency I see, is a lot of people stopped uploading zombies videos on YouTube either during Black Ops 4 or Cold War. It seems like it was those two games that killed off a lot of the community, and coincidentally that's also around the time where it started to get smaller. Black Ops 4, Cold War, and now with Vanguard. And another thing I noticed is, unlike in the older days, from Black Ops 1 to BO3, that was the time where a load of the bigger YouTubers you see now blew up. There were so many up and coming people during that time, and you compare that to BO4, Cold War, or Vanguard, I can't really think of anyone during those games that blew up like other people did from World at War to Black Ops 3. Maybe there are some people out there that I don't know of, but for the most part, from what I can see myself, there haven't really been any new up-and-coming YouTubers that have blown up off these past couple of zombie games, whereas there was so many new people during BO1, 2, and 3. And I think that could also have something to do with the fact that zombies has changed now. As I mentioned earlier on, there's not really any need for guides anymore, whether it be Easter egg tutorials or buildable tutorials, how to pack a punch. There's also not much of a need for storyline videos anymore, because the Dark Ether story is pretty simple to understand. In the older days, it was all based around theory, whereas now it's all sat out in front of you. There isn't really any room for the community to theorize. That then takes away the space for storyline YouTubers or anyone really who likes to speculate, because unlike the Ether timeline from World at War to Black Ops 4, this new Dark Ether story in Cold War and Vanguard, it's relatively simple. Everything you need to know is told to you, and everything that we are given, there's not really any room to question, well, what if this happened, or could we link this to this? So really that's all I have to say. I just thought it'd be an interesting video to talk about how I think in the beginning it was really the community that made zombies, and then as we've progressed into these later games, the story definitely wouldn't be what it is without them. There would be nowhere near as many people interested in it, and the same goes for Easter eggs. No one would have been able to do Easter eggs without tutorials and guides, and I just think it's a little bit of a shame how Treyarch have moved away from that and have almost tried to compensate too much to, I guess, new players, beginners, people who don't really play zombies, and that's what Treyarch have even said themselves. They're trying to make zombies now more catered towards just casual players. They're trying to make it so you can just jump into it and play, which is fine, but I personally preferred the style where just everything about zombies was complicated. It was a mess, and that was what made it so different to any other game. The meme goes that the Call of Duty Zombies storyline is one of the most difficult to understand, just because it's absolutely everywhere. And that's true. I know some people like a simple story, but personally, I prefer something that's absolutely everywhere, but what that does is then allows you to come up with your own theories. Whether it be a movie or a video game, I always like to ask myself at the end, well, what if this happened? Or could this be linked to this? That to me is much more interesting than what they're trying to do now. So anyway, there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Maybe there are people that I missed off that you can remember that don't do zombies videos anymore. I just thought it'd be something interesting to talk about. Anyway, leave a like rating, make sure you are subscribed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.